Hi everyone, welcome to the stream. This is Accounting Nightmare. Welcome Mia, welcome Furiora, welcome Lauren, welcome everyone. Unmute the game, there we go, yeah. Alright. I wanted to stream yesterday, but I had a family thing, so we're streaming today. Pretty excited, we're near the end of 4.0. We probably won't finish it today, but make a lot more progress. Bit of a late start because I had some grocery stuff to deal with. So I've already fed Cleo, so don't need to worry about the cat alarm. Alright, let's get logging in. It's rather warm today, so I've got the aircon on. I have not turned on the noise removal, so if the background noise is annoying, let me know and I'll turn it on. I didn't hear anything when I was doing my my audio tests. Okay, a lot happened last time. So we're fighting back in Girabania, fighting for Ala Mhigo. I was unlocking some beast tribe stuff. Hey Skeleton, welcome. Yeah, this is the starting Dancer set. I really like Dancer. Dancer's fun. Where we going? That's right, back here, Alagiri. A poem from a disgruntled ninja. Some AoEs are red, some of them are blue. I wanna fucking die, stand in the Doton. Very good. It's a fighting class. Yeah, it's a ranged physical DPS. It uses these little... What are they, like glaive? Or... Yeah, it throws these anyway. It's pretty cool. Are there any training dummies around here I can quickly show you? That's right, I can't fly here yet. Go Chocobo! Nothing around. Hang on, there's some over in... just outside of here. Yeah, I'll quickly show you since you're curious. Chakrams, there we go, thank you. Chakrams. Yeah, it's one of the Shadowbringers classes, so I haven't done too much with it yet, but I really like it though. It's got like a 1-2 combo, and then both of those can proc their own little thing. And you activate a dance, and it shows you the dance steps you should take. For max DPS buff. Pretty cool. And you build up these little feathers you can use on fan dance. And here's the AoE stuff. Whee! It's very flashy, I like it. And yeah, it's a very proc-based class if you like procs. Pretty cool, I like it. Very appreciated for dance partner. You can dance partner your Chocobo. I did not realise that, that's cool. Very cool. Alright, reset. Reset. Alright. Story. They have a buff? Yeah, they've got a lot of nice buffs they can share with people. Yeah, so the little dance thing grants... If you do it properly, it grants a damage bonus of 5% DPS with whoever you've assigned as your dance partner. Yeah, so at the start of a dungeon, you slap this on someone, and they get to share your cool DPS buff. Also got like an AoE heal. An AoE damage reduction thing, just extra little bonuses they bring. Yeah, they're cool. Hey tag, welcome. The dancer is an enhancer. Yeah, a lot like Bard. A lot of the physical... Yeah, the physical range DPS do tend to seem like buffers, except, I guess Machinist. Does Machinist have many buffs? Doesn't seem like they do. They can do the damage reduction buff, but that's about it. Bard is very buff focused though. Yeah, and Dancer have some nice buffs. Anyway, ninja! I'm a ninja! Alright, so last time... Stormblood. I went back to fighting in Ala Mhigo. I guess we fought a primal named Sri Lakshmi, the primal of the snakes. It was a fun fight. I kind of got wrecked. It was fun. We marched from... Yeah, we went across the bridge. We found Minago's little hometown. Her tribe's town. Marched here. The Empire gave up this position. Then we went and took this, and the Empire fired on it with a huge artillery battery, killing a lot of their own people, so that was pretty horrible. And we lost Commander Kemp in that fight. And he is named Lys as his successor. So Lys is now the leader of the Ala Mhigan resistance. So we're trying to move on from his death, and she's got to get comfortable now in her leadership role. Oh, right. Machinist is specifically the selfish range DPS, yeah, okay. Yeah, I died horribly multiple times in that fight. I did a lot better though the second time. You're planning to run your first D&D 5e game soonish? Nice. Hope that goes well. 10 on an XP buff. We have any? We do. Yeah. When did Lys become leader of the resistance? That is... I suppose we have Hien to thank for this, too. Yeah, so she drew a lot of inspiration from Hien, the Doman leader. I understand Minago's concern. If they were to lose another leader so soon after losing Conrad, the resistance might never recover. Conrad confided in me that he was considering naming her as his successor, so it didn't come as a complete shock. I mean, I was still surprised, but I've never once doubted his judgment, and none of us have. If he thought Lys was the best choice, then she is. That's right, she wants to go and scout out the Imperials. Lys's mind is made up. If you don't mind, I'd rather not wait around and have people try to talk me out of it. Let's get moving. I know a good vantage point overlooking the castrum. Neon Crypt's Hope. The ship's stranded on the rocks to the east of here. It shouldn't take us long to get there. Oh, but there might be some ancient golems guarding it. Or that might just be an old wives' tale. Either way, it's worth the risk. Please, Commander, I pray you proceed with all due caution. Do not hesitate to call upon us if needed. To reach the ship, we'll have to scale the cliff face. I'll get some climbing gear and meet you there, alright? We're going to that cool ship. There might be some golems there, by the way. The ship dates back to days of the Great Flood. The legend goes that it was teleported onto the rocks by magic. No idea if it's true, but I'll be damned if I know how else it could have got up there. Check for new dialogue. And I think I talked to everyone over here last time. Yeah, she needs a friend now. Stay close to her. Weapon! Oh, hey, it's Arenvold and his little group. Hey, Arenvold. I still can't believe it. Conrad and so many others dead. It's not right what those bastards did. It's not right. You wouldn't believe the 2 fools we caught skulking about in Imperial uniforms. It felt good handing them over to the Alliance. Though it all feels pointless now. Oh, they caught them? Huh, okay. I'm sure that won't eventuate in anything. Definitely not. Conrad always treated us with kindness and respect. His death will not go unavenged. Yeah, they keep mentioning these 2 people skulking around, and I think it's Laurentius and Yu Haze. The other 2 traitorous crystal braves. Because they've been unaccounted for until now. Dismount, yes. Oh lordy, coming. It's very cute. The crystal cowards. Wait for Lise. Alright. Go! That's a golem. Wasn't the kind I expected. Trick attack! Boom! Oops. Hitting the wrong buttons. Nice. Continue to wait. The ominous cloud of purple energy, yeah. Hi. Sorry to keep you waiting. I see you've met the golems. Looks like the old stories were true, eh? In a way, I'm glad. Right then, time to climb. He's glad. I think she just wants something to beat up. The picture of the weight chart at a vet and the highest was, oh lordy, coming. Yes. You get in these weird spots with your mount roulette where it just keeps summoning the same mount several times in a row. And it happens the most with Fat Chocobo. That's funny. Hey, Nora, how are ya? Nice, it'll be good to have you along. Phew, that took a bit more out of me than I expected. And here she is, Nunkrep's hope. The ark that one man made to save countless others from the flood during the 6th Umbral Era. It's comforting to think that there have always been people who cared this much about their fellow man, who accomplished such great feats that people couldn't help thinking they must be made up. But the proof's right here, isn't it? I don't just mean the ship, you know. I mean you. Long before anyone started calling you a hero, you were there for those in need. You did things for people when you didn't have to. Sometimes even when they didn't want you to. It can't have been easy, staying true to yourself, but we're all better for it. Me included. I'll never be a leader like Conrad, or Hien, or my father. But I can be a friend to you all, and I can fight by your side. I can be me, and that'll just have to be enough, eh? Strange to think back on it. If we'd been standing in different places, or if the shell had struck the tower differently, it would have been me instead of Conrad. Or maybe both of us. What kind of monster murders their own? Is that smoke from Castrum Urbania? Wait, it's coming from the cannon. I can't tell what happened from here, but I can tell that it won't be giving us any trouble in the immediate future. That's right, a spiky lad showed up and stabbed it. This is our chance, Melchan, to avenge Conrad and all the others who died in the tower, friend and foe. To take Castrum Urbania and bring the bastards who gave the order to fire to justice. It won't be easy after the losses we took, but I know everyone's champing at the bit to strike back. With the right plan, I'm certain we can do it. We have to tell the others. Come on. I wanted to climb in the boat. I want to explore the boat. No boat for me. Hey, counting. Welcome. What's that JPEG? Let me just look at that picture. Dun, dun, dun. Ah, the body chonk system. Very cute. Chonk free, bone chonk. A fine boy. Heckin' chonk, hefty chonk. Mega chonker. Oh lordy coming. Very good. Easier down than up, eh? Though not necessarily safer. Anyway, no time to rest. We need to convince the others to strike now, before the Imperials have time to fix their cannon. A bow. I think that's an upgrade from my current bow. Now leveling Bard in Roulettes, level 67, and also Dark Knight, level 65. Yeah, those are the two I'm leveling. I've got Dragoon to 70, so that was cool. The path forward. Lees is not willing to let this opportunity pass you by. There's no time to lose, Melchan. General Alden needs to know what we saw. Ah, there it is, up on the mountain. I guess I'll have to fly to get up there and check out the boat. Once I unlock flying in this zone. Let's go, Resistance Fighter! You can do it! They've activated Rampart. Taking on the scary grasshopper. Oh, they're not moving out the AoE though. Oh, they got knocked back. Alright, they're gonna win. See ya. A JoJo reference? What was the JoJo reference? Lally ho. That's there's some kind of emote you can do in game that's a lally ho. I don't know if I've unlocked it yet, though. You can greet people with a lully-ho. Well, did you learn anything of value? You look like you've got something important to say. I believe the two of you made it back in one piece. I mean, I always am, but it's a little different now, isn't it? So long as the Imperials hold Castrum Urbania, we will not be able to march on Ala Mhigo. We will have our retribution. It is but a matter of time. We have lost so many men already. If we suffer another defeat like that, this campaign is over. You are returned. I only hope you bring good news. We scaled the cliffs of Nunkrep's Hope and spied smoke rising from Castrum Urbania's main cannon. I think Marshal Terrapin's right. They didn't fire again because they couldn't. The cannon seems to have been disabled somehow. Then we must attack Castrum Urbania at once. It could still be a trick. But if it isn't, we may not get a better opportunity. Bluntly, General, if it is a trick, it is an utterly baffling stratagem. Had the Imperials wished to wipe us out, they could simply have kept firing. Be that as it may, we need not risk everything to seize it. I say we dispatch a small contingent to infiltrate the castrum and secure control of the weapon. If the enemy is preoccupied with repairs, we may be able to take them unawares. If, on the other hand, it is indeed a trick, our token force will prove an elusive target. And we will at least know the cannon is operational. Either way, it seems well worth the risk. But how are we to infiltrate the castrum? Well, I could get 3 allies and just go in there. In anticipation of a day such as this, men and women under my command have laboured long to cultivate a network of informants throughout Urbania, including Radiata. Radiata is home to many who hold menial positions at Castrum Urbania and other nearby installations. With the aid of our allies there, I believe we can secure a route into the fortress. The Resistance will handle this. You may have recruited these informants, but they'll be just as happy working with fellow Ala Mhigans. And at the end of the day, it's our land, our responsibility. Let us do right by Conrad. I should be glad to accompany her, General, as would Alizé and Melchan, I'm sure. Well then, if you are all in agreement, I see no reason to refuse you. We will make ready to march on Castrum Urbania. Go, and may Rauga watch over and keep you. Exciting! It's something dwarves in Final Fantasy say. Ah, okay. It's a thing in the 80s. Quick research suggests they share a common origin. Interesting. Had Alphino not volunteered you, I would have asked. If anyone can see this mission through, it's you. Perhaps you recall the night we first met outside the Sildin ruins, under such unfortunate circumstances? I had just returned from a meeting with my Ala Mhigan agents. As I said before, we have been preparing for this day. Oh, Pippin's a good boy. Thanks for standing by me, Melchan. Together, we'll make Conrad proud. I knew the Alliance had spies in Urbania, but in Radiata? Impressive. I suspect a hand-picked contingent of the Ala Mhigan Brigade's finest would have been equally, if not more, qualified. But what do I know? My apologies for speaking on your behalf. It would seem my sister's forthright manner is rubbing off on me. I confess, my decision to volunteer was not wholly motivated by a concern for Lys, nor less Ala Mhigo. Castra Mabania is the largest Imperial facility in the Peaks, you see, and so the likelihood that Krile is being held captive there is quite high. Oh. Dealing with that cannon remains our main objective, of course, but if there is even a chance that Krile might be rescued in the process, I would never forgive myself if I did not take it. What's the Dark Knight sword look like? It's quite chonky. I'll take it, please. With tired hands, we toil. Alphino is ready to lead the way to Radiata. Ah, they say Rally Ho in 9. Interesting. That's right, I forgot about that. Lully Ho and Rally Ho. Ah, interesting. Very similar. So, to review, we are to travel to Radiata, where we will meet with a contact recruited by Marshal Terrapin's agents. I took the liberty of reviewing intelligence reports while Melchan and Lys were away, so the settlement is not wholly unfamiliar to me. As the Vice Marshal indicated, the vast majority of the populace is employed as menial labour in either Specula Imperatoris or Castra Mabania. Perhaps as a result of this, the Resistance has long struggled to make inroads there. Aye, you have the right of it. They got a better deal than most Ala Mhigans, feeding off what scraps the Imperials gave him. Damned if I know how Marshal Terrapin's agents got one of them to turn his coat. I understand your disdain, I do, but I also understand their desire to look after their families by any means necessary. Our contact is a Rogadin woman. She will ask us a question. After we answer with courage, she will know us as friends. Courage, right. Put together a squadron, Nago. We'll need them soon. With me, my friends, and be ready for anything. It's exciting. Can this table hold the Chonkster? Apparently it can. Bye. Ooh, blue quest. I'll grab that while I'm here. Ether current. Brazen Brook needs help with a rather delicate situation. Hey, you're that adventurer everyone's talking about, aren't you? Just the woman I wanted to see. You've a bit of time to spare, I hope. Sort of. It seemed a bloody miracle we managed to take Alagiri without spilling a drop of blood. But it was all thanks to one man. A man the Alliance would very much like to speak with. Getting him to come in for questioning, however, has proven more trouble than we thought. What is that noise? Can't see. It's not my place to be dealing with this, to be honest with you, but I think it'd be best to resolve the matter quietly if possible. Things could get messy around here if the Alliance or the Resistance start kicking up a fuss. I'm not to draw attention if I leave my post, but you adventurers are free to move about as you please. So what do you say? Can you give me a hand? Sure, much later. You adventurers are good folk. Now, I really shouldn't say much more out here in the open. You best go and speak with him yourself. Bout's his name. He can tell you the rest. This isn't something to talk about here in the open. Best you heard the rest from Bout. Alright, bye. Oh, that's what that noise was? Very noisy cleaning. I'll do that some other time. I want to go do this. The Japanese LR thing, yeah. There's a raid with the boss's first cast is a raid-wide AoE that sets everyone's health to 1. That sounds like fun. Hello, demon. Ah, don't look at me. I'm busy. I'm late for an important date. Bum, bum, bum. Hello. I know you're out there. Keep an eye out, would you? Something doesn't feel right. If there were Magitech armor nearby, surely we would have heard them by now. Alright. Get ready for a fight. Horse your front. Thank you. See? What did I tell you? Let us continue on to Specula Imperatoris. Ah, did I get faked out? Fine. Welcome to the mechanics store. What would you like for your boss fight? Yes. Hello, may I pass through the gate? Yes, please. Ah, well, this one's purple, so this one's gonna probably summon something. Oh no! Savages? You call them savage? Jerk. Boom! So shiny. You can cause any raider to start crying by just saying Ned. That's a interesting word. Griffins around here. Heh, nothing to it. Oh, they beat up some soldiers. Phew. That would have been an unceremonious ending to our tale. You have ventured on a harrowing journey and returned with forbidden knowledge. The origin of Ala Mhigo. Ooh. Ah, it's a video. Okay, I shall watch that later. A superhero cartoon from Hanna-Barbera. Interesting. Of course there were still soldiers lurking about. Fortunately, they were no match for Lee's. Come, Radiato is not much further. Of course, in light of our recent encounter, it would be prudent to proceed with caution and remain vigilant for Imperial forces. That's what the others were already doing. Fight, 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 fight. Come into my Doton. Oh, hi. That's a big one. Come into my Doton. Oh, did I mess up my Doton? My cast? Stop spamming that. It's annoying. Boom! Fired off some missiles, which did almost nothing. The big robot. It's gone now, though. And I think there was one more current to get around here somewhere. Get that later. Yeah, one more. Deck Breaker. Lovely name. We just go around you. Big angry griffin. I'm not sure what I did. It didn't seem like I might have bunnied and not noticed. Hello, you're a hunt. They must kill. Assassinate the camel. Nice. That's a big one. Hi. Nary a soldier in sight. Mayhap they were recalled to Castra Mabania. I thought they said this was a village. It looks more like a work camp. There's another boat. Oh no, is that the same boat? It's the same boat. It's just huge. Looks like it's safe to enter. I don't see any Imperials. I don't see smoke above Castra Mabania anymore. Do you think they fixed the cannon already? Hope not. Ooh, glowy gem. Where courage endures. The Rugadin woman you seek is somewhere in Radiata, and Lys is eager to find her. Daggers. Stabby stab. Probably also need a spear. A lance. What lance am I using? God, this this chest is a mess. There's so many weapons you have to use if you use all the classes. Sword, please. I'm using that one. Yeah, it's an upgrade. This one's a bigger upgrade, though. I'll get the daggers. Alphino said we were looking for a Rugadin woman, right? And that we should answer her question with courage. I suppose we'll just have to strike up a conversation with every one of them until we find our contact. Let me know if you find her, and I'll do the same. Gonna talk to all the Rugadin women. Go away. Camel attack. Camel combat. Hello, I wonder if you're my contact. I saw Alizé, so I must talk to her first. She has to be around here somewhere. Leaping Doe. I don't know you. Why have you come to Radiata? Tell you about myself. You really are a stranger here, aren't you? Too much talk can get a person killed. My father talked too much once. Complained about his job. A friend reported him to the authorities, and then the soldiers came to take him away as a suspected insurgent. I never saw him again. And then there was my little brother. When a group of patriots heard he was a labourer for the Empire, they strung him up from a tree. So, no, You don't talk about yourself around here. Radiata? Well, this village is home to those who labour at Castrum Urbania or Specula Imperatoris. Think of it as an imperial slave pen. It certainly wasn't called Radiata by the folk who live here. It had a different name once, but you'll not hear anyone say it out loud. That earns you a visit from the correction officers. You tell other villagers you're from Radiata, though, and it'll get you spit on. To everyone else, we're the Empire's whipped curs. We lose either way. If we're to be treated like dogs for where we were born, then we've no choice but to live like one. Aww. Both tanks are new on Lakshmi. Uh-oh. Good luck, Honora. Good luck. Wonder if my contact is the one with the huge quest marker. Yeah. Hello. Gotta talk to everyone. Have you seen any trees in need of attention? Sagging boughs? Rotting roots? Boughs, not boughs. There are broken war machina all over the place if you know where to look. Someone should probably salvage them. So, as I was saying, about this woman. Any luck? No? Me neither. Aye, this one can't fail. I can feel my purse growing heavier already. Not sure what he's referring to. Able Ant. Oh, that's a great name. Leave me be. I just need a moment or two, then I'll get back to work. Times are changing, and with change comes opportunity for business. It's only a matter of finding that special something to catch the customer's eye. Oh, gods, please don't do that. I thought the Empire's soldiers had come for me. Oh. This place is sad. Hello, quest marker. Ain't seen you around before. Takes a certain kind of woman to walk into a place like this uninvited. I go whither the wild rose blooms. See any roses round here? 'Cause I don't. Piss off. Times are tough, but so am I. Oh, aye? I'll bet you are. Best of luck to you, soldier. One with courage, I suppose. Courage, you say? Well, that's in short supply these days. Better to keep your head down and go along to survive. Call me a coward too, if you like, because I'll not speak on it more. At least not here. Outside Radiata, behind those barricades over yonder, on the other hand. Yo! Since we're safe, can we see a bunny? Sure. White one. Aw. Good luck. Hey, was that who I think it was? Well, that's a relief. Or a trap. Either way, I'll find Alphino and Alizé. We'll meet you there. Bunny. Bunny. Another bunny. Bunny. It's very cute. Hello. Not followed, were you? Good. No one noticed the big chonkovo coming over here. Don't worry. That all of you, is it? Let's get to it then. Name yourselves. I'm sorry, we're all so short compared to her. She's huge. Name yourselves. We are the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, friends of Marshal Tarupin. Name Stark. Stark Woad. The rest you know, or we wouldn't be here. This is about Specula Imperatoris and the cannon, isn't it? Just so. Can you tell us what happened? I overheard soldiers talking while working in the mess. The cerulean pipeline fueling the cannon was destroyed by an unidentified male insurgent, they said. One man single-handedly disabled the cannon? That beggars belief. Nevertheless, that's what they said. It took a while, but they finally put the fires out, and the engineers have been working day and night to repair it. Wish I could tell you more, but the incident had everyone jumping at shadows and afraid to say much more. To make matters worse, the Ala Mhigo help have been sent home indefinitely. So the cannon could already be fully operational. We need to sneak inside Castrum Urbania to ensure the cannon is no longer a threat to our troops. Can you help us? Aye, that much I can do. I've pieced together a map of the interior over the years, and I know for a fact that there are multiple points of entry. Impressive. If we split into several groups, that may improve our odds of reaching the fire control centre. We may be few in number, but I have faith that we can see this through. Daggers. Gimme. What do you mean you're not meant to do that? Why wouldn't I want to summon a cute little bunny? Exactly. The short crew, yes. We're all so tiny. Lisa's not much taller than me. Your cat just curled up behind your laptop? Ah, cute. It's thanks to brave men and women like her that we still have a chance to win this war. It's good to see that even this deep within occupied territory, there are still those who would defy their oppressors. Someone's fighting a robot. Have fun. I tell you, some of these resistance folk can't see the forest for the trees. Ambushing the occasional Imperial patrol won't change a damn thing. Infiltrating their castrum and learning their secrets, on the other hand. The price of freedom. As usual, Alphino has a brilliant plan. Alright, let's hear it. We have that for which we came. All that remains is to make our preparations. Nochan, you and your ever-dependable allies will enter the castrum with my sister and I, by way of the ventilation ducts, leading to the hangars. From there, you will proceed into weapons research and unleash bloody mayhem. At the same time, Alize and I will create a diversion elsewhere, and in the ensuing confusion, Lise and her unit will attempt to reach the fire control centre undetected. If all goes to plan, our three parties will subsequently converge on this location, and together we will secure the cannon before finally notifying the Alliance that they are clear to attack. Sounds simple enough. I'll go and brief Nargo on the details. The rest of you come with me. We'll need to deal with the Magitech patrols before you can infiltrate the castrum. So we're splitting into 3 groups. That's ambitious. So there's a blue quest. Just gonna grab that. Need those currents. Hi. Ponderous Porter, if that is your real name. The Ponderous Porter appears to have a request for you. You're not from around here, are you? You'd never see an Ala Mhigo strike up a conversation with a Radiata resident. But seeing as we're already talking, I have a job that's just right for an outsider like you. Talk with the girl behind that building over there, and she'll give you all the details. She's a bit testy, mind you. Another one I'll do later. Did you find the lass I told you about? She's the one behind that building who looks ready to take a bite out of anyone who strays too close. Sounds charming. I have a plan. Is it a good one? I have a plan. Now, he claimed it's a brilliant plan, alright? What are these daggers? Ooh, look at those. Jesus. Those are sharp as heck. Put those daggers on. Yeah. Nice. Where are we going? Right. Purple spot. Put down a powered up Doton. Hi. Come here. No, come here. There you go. Who's a good little robot? Oops, I bunnied. So you should die. Thank you. That's a cool looking laser beam. Can I have it? I'll probably get to use something like that when I'm Sage. Doggo! Growl, it says. Boom! And a stabbing. Nice. They look a bit thick to be really sharp. That's standard in video games from what you've seen. Looks shiny though, that's the important thing. Ugh, what the hell? A gross looking bug. Quickly and quietly, so as not to raise the alarm. He is hoping there aren't too many for us to handle. Almost there, friends. Your point of entry is just around the bend up ahead. The last patrol should be here any moment. Once you've dealt with them, we'll be clear to advance, assuming they keep to their usual schedule. Might be prudent to stand watch for a moment after, just in case. Lead the way and deal with the last patrol, if you would. We'll hold here and watch for soldiers coming from the west. Look out for this lightning sprite, though. It looks like it wants to start some trouble. I don't trust that sprite. Dungeon! Oh, that cannon is huge. Boom! Wow, that wrecked you pretty hard. That robot wasn't very strong, was it? Now we stand watch again. Explained Lakshmi got no comms. You jerks. Sure I'm not a magpie? By Rauga, I knew you lot were good, but I never expected you to defeat them so swiftly. Melchan is the finest warrior I know, and I should like to think we have learned something from our time in her company. Now, where is the entrance to the ducks? Right behind you. I've mapped the branches, so you should have no trouble reaching the hangars or any number of other places. Understood. Thank you again for your invaluable assistance. As discussed, Melchan, we shall divide into 2 groups and proceed via separate routes into the castrum. Remember that our objective is to cause as much chaos as possible to draw the Imperials away from Lise and her men. If there's nothing else, I'll return to the Resistance forces and show them to their entrance. May Rauga guide you to your victory. Guide you to victory. Yes, she is very tall. We're all also very short. This is your last chance to make your preparations, Melchan. When you and yours are ready, we shall begin. Castrum Abania. Nice. This sounds like fun. Hello. Wave. The twins. It won't be long before someone realizes their armor is missing. We have to hurry. The Alliance is counting on us to deal with that cannon. Failure is not an option. Castrum Abania. The Alliance and the Resistance cannot suffer a repeat of the slaughter at Specula Imperatoris. As such, they will not march upon Castrum Abania until they can be certain the fortress's main cannon will not be brought to bear against them. With the aid of an Alliance contact in Rediata, you and your comrades have devised a plan to infiltrate the castrum and seize control of the cannon. Several parties, including yours, will attempt to create a diversion inside the castrum, thereby allowing Lise and her unit of Resistance fighters to proceed, relatively unhindered, to the fire control centre. Weapons research is to be your destination, and one can only imagine what manner of foes await you there. Item level sync. Interesting. 290 minus 280. Cool. Hi! Hi! Alright, who wants to come along? Level 69, nice, yes. We got 2 people, we got room for another. Is anyone else who wanted to come? Eurochan's doing the Limitless Blue. I'll chuck yous both an invite. And I go heal. Yeah, Catsworth is on. Oops, sorry. Catsworth is online. I don't know if Catsworth is streaming though. I don't want to bother her if she's in the middle of something. She's been streaming some Shadowbringers lately. Ooh, you're going dancer. Sounds good. Just chilling? Okay, I could invite her. Not streaming. Okay, cool. Can you whisper them if they're on another server, or do you have to change servers? Hi. You like to come to Castrum something? Castrum Abania. My story quest? For my MSQ, yeah. There we go. No, okay. Recipient is in a restricted area. Okay. Never mind. A restricted area. What does that mean? Your cat's purring? Aw, cute. A dungeon. Oh, okay. Does Zero want to come? I want to come to Castrum Abania for my MSQ. Your cat's letting you hold her paw. Oh, that's so cute. I should also grab some more water soon. I'm about to run out. Hey, Yura-chan. 1 second? No worries. Nice, we'll have a full party. Let me know when you want an invite. I'm gonna go heals. Looks like Nora wants to tank. Nice. Warrior. Ooh. Oh yes, I've got a new staff, but does it look as cool as my current staff? Yeah, I really like the flowers. And I have to go back to my inn to change the glamour, so I'm gonna have to stick with this staff for now. Ready now? Sweet. Invite. And I should bring up my dungeon guide. So I forgot. I could have been looking at that this whole time. Alright, so this is the last leveling dungeon, I think. Stormblood. Okay. Hits hard. Alright. Kill the ads, then use the guns. Sounds like fun. Second boss sounds involved, but I'll read that during the dungeon. Okay. Do a ready check. Oop. And I'll eat some food. Nom. Castrimabania. Level 69. Cool. You can do any roll at this point. Your healer's 70. Ah, yeah. Castrimabania. Ooh. I see those mechas in there. I like that our goal in this dungeon is just to cause as much chaos as we can. Great. Hoorah! Gotta do the holy. Shine. Oh, so that looked like a robot gorilla? Why not? Another robot gorilla. It even runs like a gorilla. Down a bubble. Yeah. I hit the wrong key and used benediction. Oh well, it'll be fun. What could go wrong? Double gorilla. Monkey power. Woo. Didn't realise I had no lilies left. Aw, cute little things. Oh god. Dog attack. But the name Pugnax always makes me think of bug snacks. Testing compound. Okay, yep. Oh, yeah, that looks friendly. Systems nominal. Powering Magitek engines. It's got 3 wheels? Deactivating limiters, injecting cerulean fuel additives. Vroom. Emergency restart. Systems unstable. Woo! That was a fun boss. Interesting design too. Alright, kill the pods before they open. Stand in towers. Whoosh! A size is one of the funnest abilities. Just huge heal, huge damage. And it's not on the GCD. Very fun. No mana cost either. Oh, it gives you mana. I forgot it gives you mana as well. It just does everything. That's what Grindwhat was made into. Oh, I see. Yep. The things in the pods. Ah. Rum. Treasure. Yeah, I like the vibe here. Just all this weird experimental stuff going on here. I shall take that. Thank you. Dr. Mole. Dr. Mole. Rum. Project Aegis. Ooh, okay. Oh, hi. Number 24. Behold the pinnacle of Magitech enhancement. Okay, yeah, I do feel like this place explains Xenos. There's so many experiments and stuff in here. Yeah, it does feel like Xenos is absolutely enhanced in some way. Tower. I stand. If I fits, I sits. My cup runneth over with lightning and ice. Fire. Yeah. Stand in this one. Fire and lightning. Alright, so we want ice? Yeah. Okay, this boss makes sense. If you read a guide. That armor looks pretty cool. The shoulder thingies. Alright, kill the ad that spawns at the entrance. Destroy tethered ads. Alright, that sounds simple. AoE spam, AoE spam. Ugh. Oh, hi. Holy button goes whoosh. Who needs to see the enemies? I'll just cover the screen in shininess. And everything will be okay. Hat. Click. There we go. Put down my shiny bubble. White Mage is just a very shiny class, isn't it? Clunk. Uh-huh. Treasure! 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 Bum bum ba ba dum. Last boss. Who's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? It's getting delivered to us. Oh, hi. That looks cool. What fortune to receive such a promising test subject. Ketu and Rahu. Oh. I think it's a spread marker. This way, little one, this way. Time for your medicine. What? Don't give it medicine. What are you doing to it? The strength of Inferno's left arm, Ketu, grows. That's the tank buster. Wish I could shoot lasers from my arm. That's cool. Woo! Oh god, its muscles are kind of like pulsing. It's very gross. Very disturbing. The right arm, Rahu, grows. Ah, these are the tethered ads. Go away, Deathclaw. Ding! Nice! Level 71! That was a fun fight. I like how different that vibe was from other Imperial places. It's just a big experimental lab. Thanks all! Yarr! Now, what was that Rave said, or counting? Zenobia is a reference to the Ogre series, the writer of whom was heavily involved in Stormblood's story. Ah, that's cool. Yeah, Zenobian, the name of this gear. Cool. Thanks all. That was fun. Fun little dungeon. Twins. How'd you go?
Are you alright?
Voice acting.
Ah, I think that answers my question. We've accomplished our objectives as well.
Are you alright? Just points at the big dead experiment.
Lisa's unit should be advancing upon the fire control center in the command tower. Let us join them. Lise! Thank the 12 you're all right.
And you. There's the control center. Let's hit them hard and fast. Ready?
I expected the boss of that dungeon to be, what was her name? Fordola? We haven't dealt with Fordola yet. Oh, yeah, there she is.
They're here!
Hello.
It was you, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
I gave the order to fire.
It was over. The Skulls had surrendered. No one else had to die. And you killed them. Your own people. Your own comrades.
You're right! I killed them. Ansfrid, Rudolph, Emlyn, all the rest. Trained and fought with every last one of them. Good soldiers to a man. I gave the order that led to their deaths. And I knew exactly what I was doing.
But why? Why would you do that?
Because she's a jerk.
They died so that all Ala Mhigans could live free. That was all we ever wanted. We made a promise that we would do whatever it took, so that one day the Imperials would learn to accept us. But everything comes at a price. And if you haven't got the means to pay, then you pay with blood. Service guarantees citizenship, but citizenship guarantees naught. It's not enough to do your part, oh no. You have to run faster, fight harder, kill more and more and more, and only then will you be equal. That's just how it is out here in the provinces. You buy your freedom with blood. There is no other way.
Shut up! Shut your mouth! You don't get to talk about freedom. You killed your own. They trusted you, and you killed them. Murderer! Butcher! Traitor!
Oof. Oh.
Lise! Gotcha!
Oof. Damn, she fast.
I know what you can do. I've already seen it.
Alize!
So, the odds are against me.
Coward! Get back here!
Bloody smoke bombs. Dork. You're not a ninja?
Hero! Lord Xenos invites you to join him for the Royal Hunt, to be hosted at the palace. You may bring your horde, if you like. All are welcome.
Yes, please. So she must have jumped very carefully onto this to not be cut by the rotor's blades. She's very fast and accurate now, though. She hurt my daughter. She must die.
She'll be alright, but we'll need to carry her. Will you help me? Thank you. Lise, I leave matters here in your hands.
Right.
Gotta fight Fedora. Fedora and Lise set up an interesting dichotomy. Fedora decided the best way forward for Ala Mhigo was to work within the system. Oh, we have control of the cannon now. We've got a cannon. Well done. That thrice-damned cannon won't be troubling us again. I am told one of your comrades was injured during the operation. If there is aught we can do to help, pray do not hesitate to ask. Well, we did it. Castrum Urbania belongs to us now. Nygo and her people took Alizé to Rediata to receive treatment. Alphino tells me she'll make a full recovery. I know I should be happy. We won, and with minimal casualties. But somehow, it feels empty. We should report to General Alden. Kryl wasn't here, but who knows? Maybe one of Rauban's men found something which could lead us to her. Can't hurt to ask, anyway. Didn't find Kryl. Hey! Mount speed in the peaks. Yeah. Maybe we should speak with General Alden, just in case his men learned something about Kryl. Ninja. Rauban's invitation. Rauban wishes to thank you for your service. Ah, so like the AoE markers is that's the echo? That's so cool. Oh, that's really cool that there's a lore thing for why I see the AoE warnings and stuff. Makes more sense now why NPC characters just kind of stand in them, because they probably don't see cast bars either, do they? Huh, that's cool. Melchan, Commander Hext, fine work you did today. After Specula Imperatoris, we needed a resounding victory like this. Thanks to you, Rauga's star yet burns bright. I'm glad, I really am. But you should know that Alizé was injured in the fighting. Alizé. Regrettable. But I am pleased to hear that she'll make a full recovery. Cordola's parting words, on the other hand, ring less favourably in my ears. But if Xenos wishes to invite us to his so-called royal hunt, then this bull would fain accept. What troubles you, Lise? Oh, it's nothing really. Just that we're almost to the end, but we've still got to save Kryl and do so much more. Don't worry, there's patches after 4.0, so they'll cover all the story, Lise. It's okay. We'll find her soon enough. Pippin has his best men scouring the Castrom's archives as we speak. Listen, Lise. It will take us time to fully occupy the Castrum and prepare to advance into the locks. While we wait, there is something I would like to show you. Both of you. After all, this may be the last chance we have to catch our breath before the final push. I don't see why not. Then come with me to Radiata. From there, we'll need to follow another road south. See ya, serpent dude. Twin adder dude. Can you imagine a boss that moves out of AoEs like a player would? Oh, that would be so annoying. Hi. So yeah. Railbarn wants to show us something. Down here. And I think this is where the last overworld current is. Southwest. Aha. All sorts of nifty tricks, the ability to understand and speak all languages, the ability to see the immediate future, push your physical abilities beyond mortal limits, see into the memories and souls of people, immunity to tampering. Most people would only get 1 or 2 of those. Warrior of Light basically got all of them. That's cool. That should be all current. Yep, nice. Excuse me, gross caterpillar thing. Oh, it made a gross noise. Hi. I don't think I know this village. It's so small. Little, vista up there. Oh, an adventurer. We have nothing to offer, but you're free to rest here as long as you like. The name's Gibbon. I'm just a simple man, living in a simple village. I was an army man back in the day. What a time to be alive that was. No matter how good a soldier you are, though, there's no fighting against time. Eventually, I retired from my post and returned home. Since then, it's been nothing but tilling what little soil we have from sunup to sunset. This village, or at least what's left of it, is Coldhearth. If you ask me, it's a bloody miracle anything grows up here. We managed to harvest a bit to eat and a bit to trade. Most of what we have came from the few young'uns what left to join the resistance. They use their wages to support us as best they can. Once those damned Garleans came, anyone who hadn't already left was conscripted. It's mostly only children and us old folk here now. If things don't change soon, Coldhearth may not be around in a few years. Grauban was the one what led the armies to free Ala Mhigo? My, he's grown to be quite the soldier, hasn't he? Ah, is this Rauban's home village? Ma said all the Garlean people ran away. Pa will be so happy when he comes home. He's been gone an awfully long time, though. I hope he's okay. I'm afraid we've nothing to offer you, miss. Barely anything grows here, and most of our able-bodied men and women either fled or were conscripted. I reckon this place has only a few years left. Even after all these years, it's still the same. Ah, but I'm getting ahead of myself. You deserve a proper welcome. Pants. Ah, there's the last 8th current quest. Nice. Liberty or death. Rauban would share with you a story. Tell me a story, Rauban. Melchen, Lise, I brought you both here for a reason. Quest accepted.
I wanted to show you this house. My house.
His house.
You mean this is where you grew up?
Aye. Not much to look at, is it? Same could be said of the village. It was damn near impossible to live off the land, barren as it was, which is why so many of us traded our plowshares for swords. Swords and uniforms, mind. We became military men. Tensions were rising between Ala Mhigo and the Empire, and there was always a need for more soldiers to watch the border. It was only a matter of time before the first skirmishes broke out. It's a frightening thing to face Magitech armor for the first time. But after a lot of trial and error, I found ways to bring them down. After a few victories, people even said I had a knack for it. And then one day they hit us. Hard. I was wounded and sent home to recover. Back here.
Flashback.
Will you remain silent for fear of the Mad King's vengeance? Of his eyes and ears in the shadows and his knives in the dark? You who call this living dishonor our nation. It is but a slow death. Liberty or death? Liberty or death? If this be your creed, then raise up your hands, raise up your voices! Together we will tear Theodoric from the throne! Together we will reclaim our freedom!
Recognize that face.
Send you home to mend, did they?
Aye, sir. Garlean's got the better of us. The chirurgeons say I'm healing well, so it won't be long now.
Liberty or death, is it? Tell me, soldier. What do you think those words mean?
Hey, Agnika, you're about to enter Stormblood? Nice. Congrats. Hope you enjoy.
We must needs be willing to die for liberty.
Spoken like a true patriot. But liberty should not be the end in of itself. Liberty is a chance to build something better. A stronger, more prosperous home for our people. It's not quick or easy work. And it is never truly finished. But if you neglect it, then sooner or later, you look up to find you've traded one tyrant for another.
Yeah, and that's what ended up happening.
Well, sir, I've never asked for much. Never wanted to live like a king, just wish it were a little bit easier is all. For me and everyone else. And I'm willing to die for that, if that's what it takes.
Oh, he's so different. He's a one sure of
Dying
himself.
is easy, soldier. Living is harder. Rest, mend. Regain your strength. You'll need it in the days to come. And mayhap one day we will need it too.
Conrad chose you as his successor, Lise, and I will not gainsay his decision. I have but one question to ask.
Remember who Curtis is? I don't, actually. Sorry, who was Curtis? Just want to level your ninja to 60 now. Ah, nice. Ninja's at 41. Hope you enjoy. Ninja's so cool. You wanted to get the Paladin animated weapons. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's quite a grind. It looks so cool, though.
Liberty or death? Those were Curtis's words and his creed. Will you swear by your father's creed before your comrades and the gods?
Ah, there we go, yeah. Ida and Lisa's father. Ah, wow. Out of the tank roles, which do I like most? I'm really enjoying Dark Knight lately, actually. I like Warrior a lot, too. I haven't played much Gunbreaker, but I'm going to be playing that once I finish leveling Dark Knight to 70.
Liberty or death. That's all you can hope for in war. Father understood that. And you want to know if I do too. I swear to you, here and now, I will fight until the end. Be it liberty or be it death. But the freedom we win must be for every Ala Mhigan, even ones like Fordola, though they may hate us, and the Enanta, though they may fear us. We'll fight, and we'll talk, and we'll find a way to make it work for all of us. Compared to all that, retaking our home will seem like the easy part.
Sorry, but Fordola hurt my daughter, so she's on my list.
A good oath. And there is naught else to say. You are indeed your father's daughter.
Liberty or death? Has it really been 20 years since he wrote those words? Even a blind man could see that Lise wasn't herself. Not that I don't understand. To be thrust into a position of authority under such circumstances, to be made responsible for the lives of so many, it isn't easy. And when you see your friend get cut down before your eyes, it only gets harder. I'll wager she thought Alizé was dead for a moment back there. 'Tis one thing to risk your life for a cause, but to risk that of another is a burden no soldier is ever truly ready to shoulder. The fear, the guilt, it weighs on her. And that's good. It will make her a better commander. But first she needs to learn to carry it, to not let it break her, to remember that some causes are worth fighting for. Liberty or death. Her father's words gave me strength once. Mayhap they'll do the same for her now. Right then, I think I've said enough. The two of you can head back. I mean to stay a bit longer. Blue quest. Closing up shop. An important individual has yet to visit Coldhearth, and Sagar is growing concerned. You're one of those adventurers, aren't you? Travel this way and that, always helping folks? Well, I believe I speak for all of us here when I say we need your help. I'm sure you've noticed, but we don't have much. The only reason we get by is a merchant who comes and sells us supplies. I say sell, but it's so cheap he might as well give it away. Trouble is, without so much as a word, he suddenly stopped coming. I'd go and search for him myself, but anyone who could have kept watch while I'm gone has been conscripted by those damn Imperials. Would you try asking around at Radiata if anyone's seen him? He's always talked about going there, so I figure it's a good place to start. Alright. Can't get much more Final Fantasy than a gunblade. Every fantasy MMO has their huge fuck-off sword and huge fuck-off axe. How many have gunblades? Good point. I understand. He's been away for a long time, and he probably wants to be alone for a while. Let's head back to Radiata. Sure. Whoops. Hello, this isn't Radiata. Wait, am I the only one who feels like I'm being watched? Uh-oh. I don't know if it's Imperials or bandits, but I know there's more than one of them. Let's split up. You head northwest and I'll head northeast. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. Suspicious individuals. Suspicious youth. Hello? Defo not suspicious. Seven hells, she's seen us. Sod it. Dead's as good as alive to the Imperials. You sense a desperate presence. I don't want to fight them. Well, I gotta. Fire! Boom! Fire! Mug you to death. Well. Rendezvous with Lise. Ah. Do you feel like you're being watched? Play a character you have no idea. They attacked you too, didn't they? I had no choice. They're Ala Mhigo. Not even conscripts by the look of them. Barely adults. In fact, some of their faces look familiar. Wait, I remember. They're from Radiata. They must have seen us when we were looking for Stark. They probably thought the Imperials would reward them if they captured or killed. Oh gods, Alizé and Alphino could be in danger too. We have to get back to Radiata and find Nargo. Yep. This all sucks. I forgot I was still in the party. We'll disband it. Go away, camel. Good. What's all this about? You two look ready for a fight. We were ambushed by villagers outside of Radiata and thought they might try to attack you too. Are you alright? Aye, we're fine. The twins are at Stark's. Alizé was asleep last I checked. I'm sorry, did you just say you were ambushed by villagers? Not soldiers? Did they not see what we just did to Castrum Urbania? Goddamn fools! Alfie! Lise, Melchan, we overheard you talking. The ones that attacked you, they were young? Less than 20 summers? Aye, I thought so. It's always the young ones. The ones who have only ever known the occupation. They're the ones you've got to look out for. See, the only decent work to be found in Radiata is for the Imperials, and everyone knows it. Children grow up knowing it. They have it pounded into their skulls that the best they can hope for is to serve an Imperial officer. Bloody fools! After everything they've seen us accomplish, they ought to be begging to fight for the resistance, not against us. They've been living in the shadow of a castrum their whole lives. A few victories won't change that. Aye, you get some who can't wait to spit in a soldier's eye, but they get beaten for their trouble. Or worse. Even so... And the ones that don't fight back but refuse to beg, well, they just starve. Beat the dog that bites his master's hand, and ignore the dog that refuses to do his bidding, see? In the end, the ones that learn to abide are the ones that survive. Now, you may say that's all about to change, and I believe you. Many here do. But a young man or woman who grew up only knowing what he knows has got every reason to doubt. Remember that. Do what you have to, if it comes to it, but remember that. The sooner we liberate Ala Mhigo and bring an end to the occupation, the better. Only then can we show these youths that things do not have to be this way. Only then will they know what it means to live free. We're going to build a new home for ourselves, together. A better home than they've ever known. Boots. Ninja boots. Grrr. Aether current. Alizé will make a full recovery, but I doubt she will be well enough to take to the field again before this is over. Aww. First-ish taller now, Alizé. I can't imagine how you must feel, but I want you to know that many of us here are grateful for what you did at Urbania. I'll never get used to it. Killing my own countrymen. In the heat of battle, it's either you or them. But after, when you've had time to think about what you've done. This guy's just pretending that we're not here, just pretending he hasn't overheard anything. The lady in red. Lise has a proposal. I've been thinking, if Alizé needs more time to heal, maybe we should move her to Rauga's Reach. She can receive much better care there, after all. Our infirmary is probably the best place for her, short of sending her to Gridania. Indeed, and given what Mistress Woad has told us, I would rather she did not remain here. Then it's settled. Nago, go and see about getting us a carriage and an escort. Alphino, you should get your sister ready for the journey. Melchan, would you mind going on ahead and telling Orella that we're on our way? I want a bed waiting for Alizé when she arrives. Thanks. Must seem strange seeing me doling out orders, but not half as strange as it feels to do it, let me tell you. They'll learn what it means to live free. We'll teach them. Together. Aww. I'm going to do these Aether Current quests later. Where are we going again? Ah, all the way back to Rauga's Reach. Yeah. She's starting to take over the leadership position. Doling out orders. Hey, son of Tukai, how are ya? Shake that butt. It shakes its whole body when it jumps. It's pretty cute. Hello. The therapy chocobo is here. Do you require assistance? Very well. We will make ready to receive the patient at once. Give me a hand, would you? Thud. There, all crisp and freshly laundered. We're here. Is everything in order? Right, we're bringing her in. So many of our companions get hurt in this. Sad. Honestly, Alphino, you needn't have gone to all this trouble. What can I say? It seemed a good way to discourage you from limping off to battle when my back was turned. Listen to Orella, please. You need your rest. I know. Any news of Kryl? She'll be cross if you make her wait too long. As will I. Ha! A chilling prospect indeed. I'll find her, sister. And I'll fight twice as hard. For the both of us. Oh, they're so cute. I love them both. They're good together. When they're not at each other's throats. I miss that feeling. Ah, her with Papalimo. Melchan, I have a favour to ask. Would you mind waiting outside for me? I won't be a moment. I should do that for my Dark Knight glam. Well, let's have a look. Ah, a nice Dante one. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. As a story so far, really enjoying it. Yeah, I'm really enjoying Stormblood. There's just so much happening. It's really cool. So many nice characters. I should have been there with you to the end. If only I hadn't been so reckless. We'll find Cryo and bring her home. After all, I need her to tell you to stay in bed. Wait for Lees. Alright. Daggers don't look like they'd be very good for slashing. Yeah. They look cool though. That's the important thing. Oh. Right here. New outfit.
Sorry to have kept you waiting.
It's the one from the intro cutscene.
Well, what do you think? I know it's a bit old-fashioned, but in a traditional sort of way, Ida wore it whenever she could. Not that I'm pretending to be her or anything. Not again. It's just... if this is the last battle we fight to free Ala Mhigo, then she ought to be a part of it.
Aww. Not quite your style. ... Suits you.
It's nice of you to say so. And a bit embarrassing. But mostly nice.
It does look a lot like a dancer outfit though, doesn't it? Trying to kick in that dress is going to be uncomfortable.
Anyway, the real reason I asked you here was to sneak in a warm-up before the final battle.
Oh yeah. Right.
There's this place I know where monks used to spar as part of their training. Care to join me?
Oh, we're doing the intro cutscene fight. Up on the hand. That's cool. Oh, I wanted to actually fight her. That would have been cool. Maybe we got a little carried away, but you have to admit that was fun. Thank you, Mel-chan. You're the best kind of friend. The kind that's not afraid to knock some sense into you. Roots of healing. Cheek to cheek. Lisa's right fist. Ah, that's where this title comes from. Cool. That's cool. Not quite your style. Immediately getting a searing slant at the side of your cheeks, knocking your lights out. Game over. Upon the Great Lock's shore, Lise is feeling relaxed and refreshed. Ooh. Characters. Hats. Alright, not really my kind of thing, but good stats. Now that Alizé is settled in, it's time we rejoin the fight. Though actually, maybe you and Alphino should go on ahead without me. I need to talk strategy with the officers, and that might take a while. Alright. This is the first time I visited Rauga's Reach since taking over from Conrad, so we have a few things to discuss. Don't worry, I won't be far behind. Oh yeah, do people have different dialogue now that Conrad's dead? Don't think so. Go say goodbye to Alizé. Alizé! Ah, there you are. What was it that Lise wanted of you? Oh, they missed the cool fight we had. A sparring match on the Destroyer's very palm? I would have liked to have seen that. But she is right. We have lingered here long enough. I am ready to depart when you are. Take care, you two. Don't do anything I wouldn't. And you had better not rise from that bed until you are given express permission to do so. Urianger will be paying you a visit soon, and he is already worried enough as it is. We have a long road ahead of us. Lead the way, Mel-chan. Urianger is gonna fuss over her. Dress is very nice though. You'd wear that if you were thinner. That is a nice dress. Where are we going? Castrum Urbania. That's a long travel distance. Just check any more new dialogue around here. Uncle's on his way. Yes, I was trying to think of what role he would be. Uncle. Yeah, that fits. Oh. No one cared about him. Sad. Who's up here? No one. Burb. Oh, well. Go here. Uncle Urianger, yes. That chocobo isn't happy? Oh, those training chocobos that are sparring? Yes, they do look pretty mean. Oh, there's a bridge over here, apparently. I'll go use this. Hi. Or maybe not. I can't climb up there. Wow. Well, did I forget to get a aetherite? Okay, we're just going around. That is not a burb, it is a borb. Borb. Then you set out together for Castrum Urbania. I was wondering if I was meant to talk to Alphino at some point and he would teleport me over, but don't think so. Don't let a mount like that sit on you. Yeah. That would hurt. Hello. Let me through. Yes. Yeah, Chocobo's bred for fighting. Yeah, different temperament as riding ones. Yeah, that makes sense. Rude. Rock, not letting me jump over it. Go on to the locks. They're threatened by my chocobo. I ran out of water ages ago, so I'm gonna take a quick break to refill and go to the bathroom. Pippin, oh my god, you're so tiny! Check out my bulb. You like my bulb? It's a good screenshot. Alright, I'm going to take about a 5-minute break. Idling camera. And I shall be back as soon as possible. Gonna grab a drink and stuff. I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. I've been here for a little bit. I'm just drinking water. So yeah, some of these camera angles have been hilarious. Need to have a talk with my camera operator. The saddle has no straps to hold it on. It's banking on that chonky back being wide enough to hold me up there. How does this camera mechanic work? So it's the idling camera feature / idling camera. Yeah, and it just looks at random NPCs and stuff in the area. I guess it hasn't got a very big range though, so there's not much for it to look at around here apart from the big chonkobo. Look at the okay. Oh, we got some good clips. Bum, bum, bum. Chonkobo, yeah. Hang on, window capture. Oh. What even is that camera angle? Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's a camera angle. And what's this clip? Is this one the same? Yeah, yep, that's a good one. Very good. Made a decision while I was away. From now on, the quick break will be called the Quack break. Very good. Very good. Also, I grabbed myself a snack. Yum. It's a tropical pineapple flavoured Freddo. Tropical pineapple flavour. Looking forward to trying this. Hey Ogfo, welcome. I'm good, thanks. How are you? Alright, I think we're about to watch a cutscene. I can enjoy my snack. I've seen a Freddo in years. Yeah, they're pretty popular here in Australia still. You're returned.
I bring tidings.
Aww.
Do not despair. You are not without allies.
Thank you for the sub, Ogfo. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. When the model is too large that the camera is not programmed to adjust itself, yes. Hey, Ghost Boy. Tropical pineapple flavour suggests the existence of non-tropical pineapples. Good point. You appreciate me? Ah, thank you. Thank you so much. That's lovely of you to say. You're returned. How fares your sister, Alphino? Her rapier wit remains undulled, for better or for worse. Have there been any developments in our absence? I'm proud to say that Castrum Urbania is now wholly under our control. At present, we are taking stock of the enemy's supplies and redistributing them amongst our men. Also, while sifting through the officers' documents, we learned that a unit of skulls under Fodola's command passed through the Castrum en route to the capital, with a single prisoner in their custody. Kryl! It has to be her. In all likelihood, yes. You will be glad to hear that the tunnel leading to the locks has been secured by our soldiers and is now safe for travel. And one final piece of good news. Reinforcements from all 4 Alliance nations have arrived and joined the main host, which has established a new base of operations within the locks. Commander Hex should be arriving soon, yes? When she does, we will call a meeting to discuss the final stage of Rauger's Beacon. Hello. Sorry for keeping you all waiting. An Ala Mhigan folk dress. How very fitting. And well fitting, I might add. I wanted to do something for Ida. And myself. This is it. The last push. We're coming, Kryl. The door's open! Woo! The last Stormblood zone. Oh, lovely weather.
I remember my father's words. How they rang in my ears as we left Castrum Urbania behind and looked out over the locks before us. Comrades brave and true. They had come from all across Eorzea to stand with us. To stand against oppression and tyranny. 20 years the Empire had ruled us, but no longer. Liberty or death. Liberty or death.
Ere we begin, I would say to you as a proud son of Ala Mhigo that I am grateful to each and every one of you for your part in this endeavor.
Emmerich! I had to unmute my mic just to say that.
Now, to the heart of the matter. The enemy appears content to remain within the city walls and await the inevitable siege. Open conflict has been sporadic thus far. Whether Xenos is biding his time until reinforcements arrive, or attempting to bait us into a trap, none can say. We know better than to trust his word.
Regardless,
we can ill afford to present Garlemald with a chance to ready her legions. It would be in our best interest to press for a swift resolution.
A long siege wouldn't be good for the people in the city either. If food becomes scarce, you know who'll starve first.
Just so. Therefore, I propose we commit our forces to an all-out assault. What say you?
Fight, fight, fight. That was delicious. Highly recommended.
Twould seem we are of one mind. Then let us proceed to the how of it. The immortal flames will form the vanguard, supported by the archers and the conjurers of the Order of the Twin Adder, under the Elder Seatseer's command. Once the main host has cleared a path to the walls, we will bring forward the artillery of the Maelstrom and the Temple Knights. I would have your cannons pound the gates and punch a hole right through the middle of their defenses.
What about the resistance?
Your part will be to occupy the residential district and keep civilians out of harm's way. The people are more like to trust their own.
Of course. You can count on us.
Remember that there is a second entrance to the city proper there. If all goes to plan, we will have secured 2 points of entry. Once both objectives are complete, we press on into the city, surround the palace, and hunt down Xenos.
Fight, 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 fight.
As for the Scions, you will be held in reserve as an irregular unit until we have more intelligence on your captured comrade. Kryle's rescue will be your primary concern, but I dare say we'll find a use for you once her freedom has been secured.
We'll throw you at something.
Thank you, General. I pray we find her quickly.
Rhalga's beacon nears its end. Soon, my friends, Ala Mhigo will be ours once more.
Cool. You think I'll like the choice of headgear for this one? Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Alphino has an amazing ability to make compliments towards women sound strangely perverted. Yes. Yeah, the hat was good. Didn't know you could get a hat that looked like that in this game. Your issue with the locks as a name. A lock has a very specific meaning. Very deep inland body of fresh water. The locks in the locks are salt water. Ah. You see characters from various class guilds show up, like how Oboro shows up in Doma. Cool. This'll be fun. A storm of blood approaches fast. Hell's open. Heavens weep. The battle for Castra Mabania was brutal, but the one for Ala Mhigo will be unlike any we have ever known. The end is in sight. It has been a long time coming. Hello. Nice map you got there. I swore I'd return with an army one day, and here we are. We're almost home. Father has dreamed of this day for nearly half his life. Just one more step. The Flames belong on the front line, whereas we are better suited to a supporting role. Owing to their lengthy campaign against the Dravanians, the Temple Knights are a well-rounded force, and the Lominsons, well, woe betide the enemy who has to contend with a pirate and his axe. Very good. Those Imperial bastards don't stand a chance. We'll blast them to smithereens with our cannons. Nice. I'm glad the other leaders are here now. The smell of salt water in the air here reminds me of home. I find it quite comforting. Oh yes, I gotta... Shockingly appropriate weather for this sequence, yeah. Very thunderstormy. The Ruiner, the White Isle, the Destroyer. Interesting names. The Dark of Lasting Cumber? What the hell's Cumber? If Ilbert had only waited. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. He got what he wanted. He just isn't here to see it. Most of the Ala Mhigans in the residential district are Arn, so I doubt we'll have to deal with many Imperial sympathisers. Cotter built those walls to give shelter to his brothers and sisters, and now our people's freedom rests on us tearing them down. Be with you in a few minutes, Alfie. I have lots of people to talk to. This place is a bit too dusty for my taste. I find myself missing the forest. Aw, a blue. I have travelled here from distant Kurthus to support the efforts of the Alliance. Pray call upon me should you have need of our Kyrusian skills. I'd only ever heard tell of Ala Mhigo in the reports. It is a far grander city than I expected. Anyone up here? There are. Thorned Crow. Hello, Thorned Crow. Well, if it isn't Melchan, I hope this eve in Porta Praetoria finds you well. Fight for the Ala Mhigan resistance, what else? I was but a child when I fled the city with my parents, and I remember little of life before the Garleans came, but I can still see her streets in my dreams. Those memories are what brought me here, though a part of me never thought we'd make it this far. I mean, by Rauga, we're within spitting distance of Cotter's Citadel. We're almost there. We're almost home. Aww. Porta Praetoria? Our last camp before Ala Mhigo, and the point of entry to Castrum Urbania. Though I reckon you know that, since you came through there. This passage between the peaks and the locks has always held strategic importance, but it was the Garleans who went and built a bloody fortress right on top of it. Though it's our fortress now, along with all her supplies. We have more than enough to sustain us through our assault on the city. Is Ixion up? It's just thunderstorm weather, so... No one over here. Nice to see you again, Melchan. No problems to report here. Yeah, I definitely remember you. Yeah. Snake. So, this is Ala Mhigo. These Strider cities are all edges and corners. They lack elegance. Rude. Don't you talk shit about their city. We're here to free it. It be our city soon. Hello. Hilda and her watch will keep Ishgard safe in my absence. You know I would not miss this for the world, my friend. Although I have briefed our officers on Garlean tactics and Magitech design, I cannot say with confidence it will be of much use. Xenos has employed unorthodox strategies before, and I know little of these new prototypes. You'll do fine. Hopefully. Ah, there's Carney Center. Oh, the music here is so good. Not since Cartano have we gathered in such numbers, but this shall be much, much different. Is this the one who was a Garlean? I think it is. Looks like the same. Yeah, I think this is the guy from one of the short stories, the Realm Reborn short stories. He was conscripted into the Garlean force, and he was at Cartano. And in the aftermath of the battle, Carney Center was helping find survivors, and he was one of them. And she spared his life, and now he's one of her most loyal guards. Pretty sweet. So many lives lost, so much bloodshed, but it will not be in vain. If you see a purple orb, that's Ixion. Okay. Yep. Lucia has the inside scoop of how Garleans fight, yep. I forgot about that. Looking at all these brave men and women in uniform, from all across Eorzea, none can accuse us of being an alliance in name alone. It was no small feat, but we brought with us the main battery from the Triumph. You should look forward to the show. Ooh, that sounds like fun. The Keeper is a former Garlean soldier. That's sweet that he's now one of her most loyal, well-trusted guards. The stage is set, and the players are assembled. Eorzea has come at last to drive the invaders from her lands. What would Grandfather say if he were here with us today? Hat. The key to victory. Alphino remains concerned for his dear friend. For all our other accomplishments, Kryl remains in the hands of our enemy, and I find myself wondering if I could have done more. Though we now know that she was taken to the city, we have found nothing which might tell us where she is being held. You know, you could just ask me. Here he is, I was wondering when he'd show up. Thancred, what have you learned? I shall spare you the particulars of my infiltration, and simply state that I have seen her with my own eyes. She is being held within the residential district south of the city proper. I tracked her to the ruins of an old temple of the Fist of Rauga, within which the Imperials have constructed a research facility. A research facility? What manner of research? Why, methods to imbue Garleans with the power to manipulate Aether, in pursuit of which goal their scientists have, I am sorry to report, performed many questionable experiments on living subjects. What? Calm down, Alphino. We've already been tasked with securing the Ala Mhigo quarter. This just gives us a reason to do it faster. I entered and exited the facility by stowing aboard Imperial transports, but that method is not suitable for a larger force. and it goes without saying that a direct assault on the rather substantial main gates would be ill-advised. I think Amar knows someone who can help. One of my men, he had an idea about how to get into the city. Actually, it might be best if I let him explain it himself. It's been a while. I'll not take offence if you don't remember. Might even be glad of it. Alagana, am I right? Aye. Whiskar's the name. I was raised in the peaks, but my mum grew up in the city. Any road. I reckon we can get inside the Ala Mhigo quarter by way of Loch Cell. What? How? It was a story my mum told us which made me think of it. She was always going on about what life was like when she was a girl, see? How they used to have to boil the water from the well before they could drink it, since it was full of salt. They were drawing salt water from the lochs, which means that there must be an underwater tunnel or something. Aye, that's it. But it won't be as simple as going for a swim. The well was closed, see? Apparently, Theodoric decided one day he wanted to control the water supply and forbade water trading. So even if you come up through it, you'll find yourself on the wrong side of a locked gate. At the time, my grandfather, being an enterprising sort, befriended a guard and lifted the key from his belt. He made a copy and carried on selling water until the Imperials invaded, and he ended up working at the saltery. In short, we need your grandfather's key, assuming he still has it. I'm certain he does, and I can take you to him, but it'll be dangerous. Don't you worry about that. We're used to dangerous. Nago and Arenvold will assemble a squadron, while the rest of us go and get that key. Urgh. Ooh. Excitement. Emmerich's totally happy to be there to help. Yeah. Ala Mhigo calls for aid, and Eorzea shall answer. Yeah, not hard to believe they were experimenting on people after that last dungeon. Had I judged it possible to rescue her myself, I would have. But there were too many guards. Too many ways it could have ended badly. I knew at once I would need your help. Hold on, Cryle. We're coming. Mefrid told me about your time in Alagana, how a certain someone gave you a piece of his mind when you first met. Try not to hold it against him. Aw. We couldn't have had more than a few days of training when the Imperials attacked the Reach, but I've seen my share of combat since. I may be no hero like you, but I can hold my own against Imperial regulars. You'll see. Let's go! Let's not waste any more time then, shall we? My mum said Grandad kept the key with him at all times as a lucky charm. If he hasn't got it, then... well... then we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Ready, Melchan? We may have to deal with a few Imperial patrols. Or worse. The key to victory. Huh? Yeah, because it's a key. Yeah. We've got a little group. The saltery's not far. Follow me. Ah, he's got his obsidian carbuncle. So shiny. Oh no, Soblins. Whoosh. Boom. It can't cast spells if it's dead. Urgh. Fight, fight, fight. No. Oh, okay. I thought he was aggroing that. I'm like, Alpha, no, you don't have to do that. Well, that's dead. Are we really killing that poor thing? Very rude of us. A saltery being where salt is gathered and processed. That makes sense. Also, a change they're making in Endwalker is a setting. There's a setting you can turn on so that your cursor is like locked to the max range for this stuff to make it easier to just jump where you want to go. That's gonna be cool. We're here, but this isn't right. Where is everyone? Word of the Alliance's advance has surely reached their ears. Mayhap they sought refuge elsewhere. We should search the buildings for clues. What's in the pot? The pot is filled to the brim with salt. The barrel appears to have been recently filled with fish packed in salt. Someone was hard at work less than a week ago. Lumber! The lumber appears to have lain undisturbed for some time. Find anything, Alfie? No? Staring at this piece of lumber. Ah. Sorry, I have to pet the carbuncle. I'm so cute. The little red stripe on its head, it reminds me of a redback spider. You two found anything? Tancred's found a barrel. Oh. The crumbling masonry appears to have lain undisturbed for some time. Oh. What's this? Some rice, some grain. Oh, I can't mount up here. Don't think I meant to go out this far. Oh, that city looks very cool. If you don't deliberately mess up a ninjutsu you no longer need so you can have a rabbit, you're no real ninja. Aha! There's stuff up here, I think. Maybe not. Aha! Ooh, this looks like a Magitech thing. Oh god! There's a trap! Alright, which one of you triggered the obvious trap? On your guard, Magitech drones approaching. Mayhap half a dozen? No chain. Keep Whisker alive, would you? 7 hells. I could do with some help here. Where's Whisker? He was way over here. I got the biggest shade thrown at me by Thancred. Frog.
Away with you.
Pew. Alfie. Rescue my son from the obvious trap that I definitely did not set off. That was not me. Reports it was me have been greatly exaggerated. Yeah, Thancred calling me out like that. That was really good. Oh, it's a big one. Thancred is tired of everyone's crap, yeah. Zap. And again, zap. Now then, where were we? Ah, yes, looking for clues as to the whereabouts of our erstwhile water merchant and his key. Oh, now there's a diary. Way to do that thing we made you do. Yes. Behind that couch you've been sitting on for the last 3 hours was a redback spider. Ah! Ugh. In the wake of the ambush, you find a diary belonging to a labourer. The last entry makes mention of a plan to take shelter in the Sali Monastery. The Sali Monastery, that's to the south. I'll lead the way. Not after the ambush, you won't. It's too dangerous. Milchen, we'll follow you. Keep your eyes peeled for more Magitech. I will, and then I will click it and set it off. To the south, okay. Robot. That's how I know I'm going the right way. There's a robot. You coming? Yep. Yep, just jump down. Yep, boing, there we go. I've got my crew. Oh, they're following in like single file. That's so cute. Like it's a school field trip. Boom. Ooh, that's a hunt mark. Gonna kill that too while we're here. Boom. Hello. Boom. Up. Get you. Nope. Immune to stun. I nearly died. So I stood in the thing because I assumed I could stun it. This way. Yeah, I didn't expect to find hunt marks in a little duty like this. There's the monastery all the way down there. Just a video you watched. Oh, yep, that's right. I think you linked that video in the Discord. Nice. Very blue frog. We like just go around it. Oh! It's attacking my son. Bloody frog. Boom! Nice. The monastery is just past that gate. Keep going. Boom! Ah! Get some healing going. Because these things hurt. Clunk. And then it crushed all of my friends. This way? Get you. Oh, hello. This looks normal. Something tall, dark, and imperial appears to be blocking the entrance. God damn it. I don't think there's a way around. It's fine, I'll just destroy it. Then we'll just have to go through him. Look, I think those two devices are shield generators. I will keep the machine occupied. Mel-chan, be a darling and destroy the generators before it rips my head off. I guess. Why is the rogue tanking, by the way? It's fine. No questions. Tis done. See how it falters? Belabor the brute. That's right, someone's actually tanking, so I can do positionals. Very nice. Group positionals. You won't be getting up after that. Now, let's find our man. That was a cute little sequence. A dodge tank. Evasion tank, yeah. We had a strategy in Nax in WoW Classic that involved pulling a boss with an evasion rogue. This is it. This is the monastery. They have to be around here somewhere. That's not suspicious. What? What? It's me, Whisker, your grandson. Whisker? Why, Rauga, is that really you? Hello. Oh, it's good to see you alive and well, lad. But who are these other ones? The Resistance, Granddad. My comrades in arms. She told you all about me thumbing my nose at the Mad King, did she? Daft sods never caught me neither. It wasn't much, but it was my way of rebelling against his rule. Glad to see you've got higher aspirations. Here, make our family proud. Aww. I will, I swear. Rauger is my witness. Oh, he's gonna die now, isn't he? Yeah. Ooh, Aetherite over there. Seeing the fate names is always fun in a new area. La La Land, very good. Off there, Yabby. Wise car. Ah. Not Whisker, he's not a cat. Or maybe he should be. The revolutionary spirit runs in the family, I see. I'll make him proud. I'll make them all proud. If I were 10 years younger, but I'm not. Look after my grandson. We should go. Arenvold and the others are waiting. I was worried when he wasn't at the Saltery, but we found him in the end. Now that we've got the key, it's time to find that underwater tunnel. Pat. Grrr. Level 70 ninja. Nice. Very good. That's my third level 70. Dragoon, ninja, white mage. The Resonant. A Prezi! You're one class from all 80s. Nice. Congrats. Just so close. Feels like Makote are the most common race in the game. Like a player race? Yeah, they are very common. They're cute though. Lise is in the mood for a swim. How much more is left to go? Is there a point I should stop, do you think, and continue next time? Also, me and Lise can breathe underwater. Thancred and Alfie can't though. You're a Scaly, so of course you pick the aura. Yeah, I don't really like my aura. I still got a tail. I've got cool horns and I'm all blue. I'm gonna stop do it now. Yeah, because it's nearly 8 PM and I think I'm getting a headache or a migraine or something. So it might be better if we stop and leave the rest for next time. And finish it off next stream, hopefully. Once I'm into the city, things really ramp up. Okay. Alright, yeah, then I will leave it here. I want to see what this Prezi is. I've got a Prezi. Leave that for next time. Glad we got the Scions back one at a time, so we can see their characters better. Yeah. Yeah, they've done such a better job just fleshing them each out after Realm Reborn. Yeah, I really like new Thancred. He's very Han Solo now, isn't he? The next dungeon is the end. Okay. Yeah, alright. I shall leave it for next time. A dungeon and a trial. Phew. Sounds like fun. It's a zoo out there. Ha! I've got some quests back here. Hello. Goodbye. I'm teleporting away. Got a stranger wall out here. I just have to wait. Very patiently. I'll get to do some exploring off stream. This is cool. Very exciting. Yeah, I've been really enjoying this expansion. Yeah, the Ala Mhigo side I wasn't enjoying as much, but it's really picked up, and especially now that we've seen their big city. I can't wait to get in there. Okay. Find someone to raid. Let's see. Sakura. Oh no, Sakura is not streaming anymore. We've got Jordan. Yeah, Jordan's always an easy pick. I'll send you to Jordan Rasco, who's playing the new Jackbox, I think. Yeah. One major boss you'd really like to see me take on completely blind. Okay. If you remember which one it is, let me know, and I will try it. Okay. Well, thank you all very much for watching. This was really cool. Can't wait to finish it off. Seat of Sacrifice in Shadowbringers. Okay. I'll try and keep that in mind. Alright. Well, thank you all for watching, and hopefully we'll finish 4.0 next time. I'll see you next time. See ya.